Anyway, welcome. It is our Newsmaker segment here, 7:13 on Talk of the Town. And joining me in the studio, Erik Swillard.
The French version of my name.
Oh, yeah, I know. Really. Oh, wait, let me turn your mic on. There you go. Hi there.
How you doing?
Erik Swillard.
Yes.
That's how the townies say it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You said as long as you don't call me Sawyer.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of almost like Tom Sawyer in high school, which always was a little curious. I was like, the L's don't exist.
Mean Tom Sawyer. Anyway, welcome. Good morning. You were on my show a long time ago.
Yes.
When you were doing that horror movie.
Yes, 12 Bells.
Yes.
You had me on to promote 12 Bells. We were doing little shorts for the web to like promote the bigger film.
You love those shorts, man. You ought to do like some short, Oscar-worthy stuff.
Well, the thing is, the shorts are really just a cheaper vehicle to try to promote bigger things.
Right.
To be honest, I really love those features, but it's tough to get that. You got to start building. Right now, social media is really like it used to be where they find something good at studio and then they would build your audience, where now they want you to come with your audience. So that's why like I'm always pushing
to get to get the funding or whatever.
Correct. Yeah, well, they want to know there's already an audience there. They don't put the time into
interesting.
So the marketing is almost a lot of times on the independent filmmaker's part. So I'm working on, not to plug something else, but a Diakonia. I shot 2 days here already, and we're trying to get that off the ground, and I'm trying to get it really pushing it locally, trying to get banners at the Allen Theater.
Is that another film you're doing, or what?
That's actually a streaming series.
Okay.
And we're trying to get it off the ground to shoot it here and everything. And I'm shooting the trailer right now.
Now, are you like Lebanon County Spike Lee? So you write it, you direct it, you produce it, and you star in it?
No. Actually, I do.
And don't be like Spike Lee. I've got a Spike Lee story, and it's not a good one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I'd love to hear it then.
All right.
Well, I do write, direct.
Transmitter.
Oh.
Transmitter just changed to high power. Now even more people, maybe your aunts and uncles will hear you too.
Yay! Not just my mom.
Not just your mom. Okay, I'm sorry. So you were saying?
No worries. No, I do write and I produce and I direct. I do shoot because I do video production work locally, and that's one of my things. If you need video production work, woohoo! I got to eat. Because the film stuff doesn't. At this point, it's all building and trying to get that break to do something bigger. Because I did do a film and we shot here in 2008 called The Creek. That was on a Blockbuster, Netflix, and all that, which sounds great. Mm-hmm. All that'll not buy me a cup of coffee, but because those little movies don't really make a lot unless you have a lottery ticket movie like Blair Witch, which is really a lottery ticket.
Right.
So I realized that.
And it was a horrible movie too.
I hate that movie.
I was so nauseous. The camera shaking. I hate that.
I do too, but I also was sick of looking up that girl's nose. Like, I was just like, dude, stop. But yeah, so basically, you have to, build your audience. So, like, I have banners at Mancina's Pizza. They very generously have a banner up. And if you go there to the Allen or there, you get your picture taken with it, share it on social media. They'll give you a free necklace because the girl in it has a necklace. You'll get the necklace from the trailer that the girl is wearing.
I'm going.
I thought it was cool.
I love Jewel. My daughter, she's there.
And it's free. So it's like, and so I'm always trying to do something. I don't act generally in my own stuff because the hubris of that is
didn't you act in 12 Bells?
I had a small part in that trailer.
I thought
so. And I did the short only because of financial reasons. Like, I am an actor. I did that for 10 years in New York. I love acting, but you can't do everything well in that small environment. And like,
tell that to Spike.
I know, right? But yeah, but he does, I think, usually do smaller parts, though, doesn't he?
I just watched Malcolm X.
Oh,
and he was
I never saw that one.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to
read the autobiography of Malcolm X and then watch the movie because I have to say it pains me to say this, but he did a great job, converting the autobiography written by the late Alex Haley, or co-written, helped to write by Alex Haley, into the movie.
Oh, that's amazing. So he didn't take too many liberties, and it
really followed it closely.
Yeah.
All right. So all of that being said, your company is Anubis
Productions.
See, I went with my second thought because my gut said Anubis.
Yes, it's like the Greek god. It's not after the Greek god, but it's the same way. Anubis. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. But your purpose here today, and the reason I invited you in, is because you have been doing a series of vignettes or testimonials. I don't. How do you describe this related to the Kortne Stouffer case?
I kind of call them. They're not really, but almost mini docs. Like they're very short little pieces that just are a window into how the relationship she had with different people. So it's basically just a little bit of something to, I ask everyone for a story to bring her to life, like something that they knew or an experience they had with her or something they loved about her. And then the second thing I ask them is, how did this affect your life? Because I think people have lost two things. And one is the fact that she was real. The stickers are faded, all those things hanging up or torn down generally. And so it's that, so that you get that feeling, this is a real person. And the second thing is, how does this affect your life? So that people realize, for the family and friends, there's a hole in their life that doesn't go away. Where that's something me and you and the regular people, it's been almost 10 years.
I just pulled up the FBI alert. I Googled Kortne, Kortne, and that was the first thing that came up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just Googled it right now because I wanted to make sure it was 2012. July 29th, 2012, she went missing.
Yeah, it's so sad. It's
so
almost
we
10
are
years.
coming up on the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, and it's just, I said to you before, and I tell people, like, I go to church at the same place her grandma, and she has stickers on the back of her car, and they're faded. It's been a long time.
I occasionally see a raggedy, one of those raggedy posters up on a
pole or sign or something,
or on one of these community bulletin boards, like at the farmers market or something.
Yeah, I mean, in the family,
and you're right, it's faded. It's 10 years old.
They go around every year and they put new ones up, and they try to, and they're trying to do what they can do. But when I reached out to them, they were saying they've lost. There's no momentum there anymore.
Right.
And it's hard to maintain that, and maintain people's attention in this day and age. It's really hard. So my idea was, I do We Are Lebanon, PA interviews locally, which is a free thing I do just as a positivity campaign for the community, where I interview usually local artists, businesses, and nonprofits. And a friend of mine, David Warner, a local lawyer, came to me about doing a bigger project with as a documentary for Kortne. And in trying to figure out how that would work, again, money, it all comes back to money in a lot of ways. And how do you get the money and the backing for that? And I was like, I don't think we could have put something together in time for her 10th anniversary, which was really the idea.
Put something together good.
Yes.
You can slap something together, but to
Correct.
really put something together good.
No, that's the key part. You're right. And that, if you want to sell it to, hopefully the thought was like a Netflix series, docuseries, because they're doing a lot of those, and a lot of them are amazing. But how do you, to get those ins to make the connection? So yada, yada, yada. I was like, well, this is something I could do. So I kind of pushed off my normal positivity videos, and I was like, okay, well, let's just do something on this. And if I can real quick, I had I had so many volunteers that were just like, because the We Are Lebanon PA videos I do on my own because they're free. So I do it as a one-man band, which I don't normally do because I shoot high-end. It's hard to keep track of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Kortne, we did a 3-camera shoot. We had a really nice setup in my studio in downtown Lebanon, and my friend Jim Hollenbaugh, who's a filmmaker who does his own documentaries, he's an award-winning filmmaker, he donated 3 days of his time and came down and he shot with me. Chris Connell from Palmyra, Shelley Lynn Koch, who's a local makeup artist, she either did the makeup or found makeup artists for me. Like, people, as soon as I said to people, hey, what I'm doing, they were like, I'm there, tell me when.
Yeah.
And people gave up work, to do this. So
it's such a hackneyed expression, but this is every parent's worst nightmare.
Yes.
One of every parent's worst nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
Because despite the fact that she was 21 years old, living on her own, she is somebody's child.
Oh, yeah.
She will always be somebody's child.
Yeah.
And it would be tragic enough if there had been an accident or something where she lost her life.
Mm-hmm.
To have this hanging out there in the ether, is she alive? Has she been killed? Did she die? Has she been taken away in some human trafficking move or something? There are so many. We were talking about this yesterday. There are so many different rumors. I've heard. I can't tell you how many I've heard. They're all varied, and it's because her boyfriend was this or her sibling was that, and then they've got this whole construct of what happened to Kortne.
Mm-hmm.
As a mother, I cannot imagine how her mother. I'm sure you as a father can't imagine how her father, how they day after day have to get up and do their day, live their day, and they have other children, and then still know that is always hanging over them, that dark cloud.
Yeah, the what if. And you know what's true too is we don't always think about it like you said. We do tend to put ourselves in that shoe. So like as a father, like you said, or as a mother, but I realized through the interviews what's interesting is, you know, like Kirsten, she was the first one to come in, and when she did it, and you don't think about, I mean, me personally, you know, she was I believe 15, I think.
That's Courtney's younger sister.
Yes. And you know, and you can just tell, and when she was telling, you know, she lost an older sister. She lost the person she looked up to, the person that would guide her, you know. And she said, you know, she wanted to talk to her about when she had had kids, you know, and she, that's a big gap in a person's life.
Yeah.
So, and that was part of the reason to do this, is hopefully show those stories where people go, oh, this isn't just this, you know, like it.
And this
actually
isn't just a dog-eared poster on the community bulletin board.
Correct. It has ripples, and the ripples go 10 years later. You know, the effects of whoever did this, whatever happened, you know, and somebody knows. And that's kind of my point. And we were speaking about that. I'm not trying to solve this with these videos myself. Personally, I want to create awareness. I want people, because somebody out there knows something that probably doesn't know they know something. And we actually have had tips that exact way, that somebody watched one of the things and they coincidentally had a conversation with someone who never saw the videos, and they said something that they went, oh, wait a minute. And that tip went to the police, and it went to the investigator. There's still an investigator actively investigating. Mm-hmm. The police, it's an open case.
You know, and I think about this every time that there's a case. About a month ago, mm-hmm. there was a 52-year-old murder case in Luzerne County. Maurice Chivarella, a 9-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted and killed within blocks of her house. 1962, whatever it was. It was the 60s. They solved that case.
Did they really?
Now, the murderer is dead.
Okay.
But Maurice's now elderly siblings, she was the youngest.
Okay.
And her siblings are now in their late 60s and 70s. Her parents are long dead.
Yeah.
But they were so grateful and appreciative of the effort that the state police made, and this young kid in E-Town who is the genealogist who helped to solve the case.
Oh, wow, that's a neat story.
It is a neat story. I'm going to try to get Erik Schubert on the air to do a segment with me, because he's really fascinating. That kid is so cool. But I think about Kortne every time one of these cases comes up. When I hear that a body has been... look, I'm just a reporter. I didn't even know her.
Right.
You know, I didn't have the pleasure of knowing her. Every time a body is found somewhere in central Pennsylvania, it is my first thought.
Yeah.
Is that going to be Kortne?
Well, and you want, you know, obviously you don't want her to be found. Everyone's hoping she's alive. At this point, you know, it seems unlikely, but also more than anything, you want closure. Like for the family to know, like you were saying, because even that family, 60 years later, however many years later, at least you have closure. There's that part of your brain, I think, and it's just a human nature that's grinding on that there's that hole missing, and you can't close the door on it. Because I do think as humans, we hope. You know, there's still hope that Kortne's out there.
Exactly.
There's hope that, who knows, something happened that she's still out there, you know, and that she could be brought home, you know, and you can't settle that. You know, you don't want to close that door until you know. So. Well,
where can people see these
vignettes?
Vignettes.
Yeah, you call them vignettes.
Okay. Where can they see them?
So if you go to We Are Lebanon PA on Facebook, that's my main release place for all my We Are Lebanon PA videos, which just feature videos from people, interviews with people from Pennsylvania, and I plug some of my other projects on there a little bit, try not to do it too much. They are also on the Anubis Productions Vimeo, Anubis Productions YouTube page, but that's pretty much where they live, and the We Are Lebanon PA is the main spot to
I think I've seen them through Facebook.
Yeah,
but
Facebook.
They get shared.
I also want to thank Lebtown. Lebtown on this series has picked it up, and Davis Shaver is he's releasing them on the same day as I do. So they come out the 1st and the 14th of every month, now up through her when she went missing. Mm-hmm. We're going to just keep plugging away, and Davis is going to be releasing them. So you can actually see them on Lebtown, and that connects to my Vimeo, I believe, or Facebook. Facebook is really where they're the biggest. And the one last thing, please share. Please like them and share them, because the sharing gets them to the other people, and that's the point, is we want people that maybe normally wouldn't think about it to go, oh, and hopefully trigger that reaction where they go, hey, I might know something. Somebody saw, somebody knows, you know, if nothing else, if it's saturated out there, the person that might have been involved in it you know, like hopefully it works on them, you know, works on their heart. And, you know, maybe, you never know, people confess to things. So, and that's the thing, but it's the liking, the sharing is really critical.
All right.
Sorry.
Erik Sullier, thank you very much. Anubis Productions, ANNUBIS.
Yes, and We Are Lebanon, PA.
And We Are Lebanon, PA. Okay, very good. It is 7:28 time now for the Kim Commando Daily Tech Update.